Have you ever wondered why certain messages, people or moments seem to arrive in your life at the exact time you need them most? Carl Jung's psychology suggests that this is not chance but synchronicity, the meaningful alignment between your inner world and outer experiences. What appears before you is not random, it reflects the state of your own readiness. When your unconscious has prepared the ground, when your heart has opened enough to receive, the world begins to mirror back the very guidance you've been seeking all along. There is a rhythm to life that cannot be rushed, a timing that operates beyond our control and yet guides every step of our journey. What comes to you does not arrive too early, and it never arrives too late. It comes when your soul has ripened enough to receive it, when your heart has been shaped by the necessary trials, when your mind has been stretched enough to understand. Many times you may look at your past and wonder why something you longed for never came when you wanted it to. But with time, you begin to see that if it had arrived then, you would not have had the strength, the wisdom, or the clarity to hold it. What appears in your life is never an accident. It is bound to the readiness of your inner being. Think about the most profound moments of change in your life. They did not appear while you were impatiently waiting with clenched fists. They came suddenly, often quietly, at a time when you least expected it, but most needed it. This is the nature of life's timing. The river does not flow because you command it, it flows because it is the essence of the river to move forward. And so too your experiences, your opportunities, your encounters, they emerge when the inner current of your soul carries you to that point. There is a hidden wisdom working beneath what you can see, and it does not bend to your impatience. We are often deceived into believing that we must chase after everything we desire, as if life is a marketplace where the fastest buyer wins. But the truth is different. What is meant for you, no matter how deeply hidden, will find its way to you, not through frantic pursuit, but through resonance. When the vibration of your being aligns with the thing you seek, it appears as though summoned by the gravity of your own readiness. This is why some words, some teachings, some truths pass unnoticed until the precise moment they are needed. They were always there, but only when you have grown into the space that can hold them do they shine before you like a light in the darkness. If you reflect carefully, you will see that life has been preparing you all along. The setbacks, the heartbreaks, the losses, and even the silence have not been wasted. Each moment was shaping you, stripping away illusions, and softening or strengthening parts of you that needed transformation. The delay you cursed was the soil working in secret, nourishing the seed until the right season. What is born too soon is fragile, what arrives too late is withered. But when the moment is right, when your soul is ready, life presents exactly what is needed with a precision no human mind could have planned. There is a deep relief in understanding this, because it allows you to release the constant anxiety of control. You no longer need to force the fruit to ripen before its time. You no longer need to compare your season to another's. Just as one tree bears fruit in summer and another blossoms in spring, so too does each human being follow the rhythm of their own unfolding. Your journey is not behind, and it is not ahead, it is exactly where it should be. And perhaps this is why you are listening now. Not because these words were absent yesterday, not because the message was hidden, but because today you are able to hear them. Today your inner state has reached the point where the sound carries meaning. Yesterday it might have passed you by as noise, but now it touches you because your soul has grown into the space where it belongs. That is how life works. Messages, people, and experiences are scattered all around us, but they reveal themselves only when we are prepared to see. So do not mistake delay for denial. Do not mistake silence for absence. What you need is already moving toward you, just as you are moving toward it. The question is not whether it exists, but whether you are ready to meet it. And when that readiness dawns, there is no force strong enough to keep it hidden. Life's timing is precise, unshaken by your impatience, unbothered by your doubt, and untouched by your fear. It is unfolding exactly as it should. And when it arrives, you will know, for there will be no confusion. It will not come to test you with uncertainty, but to confirm that you have grown. You will see it and recognize that it belongs to you, not because you grasped it by force, but because you had become the person capable of receiving it. That is the promise of life's timing, and that is why what appears will always come only when your soul is ready. There are moments in life when events align so perfectly that they leave you breathless, and you wonder if they could really be coincidences. A stranger says exactly what you needed to hear. A book falls open to a page that answers a question you had not spoken aloud. You stumble upon a message at the very instant when your heart aches for direction. These moments are not accidents. They are signs of an underlying order, a mysterious harmony that links your inner world with the outer. Life arranges itself with a precision that your rational mind cannot fully grasp. And when you are ready, it speaks to you through these alignments. The world is never silent. It whispers constantly, yet most of the time we are too distracted, too hurried, or too resistant to notice. We expect guidance to arrive like thunder, dramatic and undeniable, but often it comes softly, disguised in the ordinary. The right person enters your life unexpectedly. The right word is spoken in passing. The right image appears before you, and somehow it stirs something deep within. That stirring is recognition. It is the soul nodding, saying, "This is for you." The timing, the placement, the feeling, it all reveals that there is more to existence than randomness. These alignments are what many dismiss as coincidence. But when they come again and again, when they carry meaning too personal to ignore, you begin to realize they are threads connecting your inner state with the world outside. They are mirrors reflecting what is already moving within you, bringing into the light what has long been forming in silence. And the more open you are, the more you see these patterns unfolding around you, like constellations scattered across the night sky. At first they appear as isolated stars, meaningless and disconnected. But then you begin to draw the lines, and suddenly you see the figure hidden within. The universe speaks in this language of synchronicity, because direct answers would rob you of growth. If life simply handed you what you demanded, you would never develop the depth to hold it. Instead, life nudges you, points you, guides you with subtle gestures that ask you to pay attention, to awaken your awareness. When you notice the signs, you are participating in your own unfolding, engaging with life as a partner rather than a master. It is not about control, it is about recognition. There are times when you may miss these signals. You may pass by them blind, consumed by noise and distraction. But the beauty of life's design is that what is meant for you will not cease to appear. It will circle back in different forms, repeating itself until you are ready to listen. The same message, the same lesson, the same opportunity will return, like a teacher who refuses to give up on a student. When you finally turn your gaze inward and quiet the restless chatter, you begin to notice what was always there, waiting for you. This is why the same sentence, the same story, the same teaching can reach you differently depending on the season of your life. Years ago, it may have been empty words slipping past your ears without leaving a trace. But today, it pierces your heart as truth. What changed was not the message, it was you. Your inner readiness allowed you to see the connection, to recognize the guidance woven into your path. The gift of synchronicity is that it reassures you that you are not wandering aimlessly. Even in moments of uncertainty, life reveals that it is walking with you, sending you signals to remind you that you are seen, that you are guided. The chance meeting, the sudden inspiration, the timely word, all of these are gentle confirmations that you are moving in alignment with something greater than your plans. You are not isolated, you are part of an unfolding whole. And when you begin to trust these moments, you discover a profound shift within yourself. You stop forcing, and you start listening. You stop pushing against the current, and you start flowing with it. You understand that what you need will not pass you by, that what belongs to you will arrive with a clarity that no doubt can obscure. The alignments will continue, each one reminding you that you are exactly where you need to be. So when life whispers through these synchronistic moments, do not dismiss them as chance. Look deeper, listen closely, and allow them to guide you. For they are the hidden bridges between your inner world and the outer, the signs that reveal you are moving in rhythm with life itself. And it is through them that what you most need will appear before you, exactly when you are ready to see it. Deep within every human being lies a reservoir of knowledge that the conscious mind has not yet grasped. It moves in silence, shaping our decisions, guiding our steps, and preparing us for moments we cannot yet imagine. This is the unconscious self, the part of you that carries wisdom far beyond logic or reason. While your conscious mind struggles with questions, doubts, and plans, the unconscious already knows what is necessary for your growth. It is like the roots of a tree, hidden from sight, yet carrying the nourishment that sustains the life above. So often, you may believe that you are lost, uncertain of where to go or what choice to make. You may feel as though you are walking in circles, unsure of your direction. Yet even in those moments of uncertainty, something deep within is quietly arranging the path. You may not recognize it in the moment, but when you look back, you see that there was a subtle order, that your soul was steering you even through the detours. What feels like confusion on the surface is often preparation beneath. There are times when truth is withheld from you, not because it does not exist, but because you are not yet ready to hold its weight. The unconscious guards it until the right time, like a seed buried in the earth. If it were forced into the light too soon, it would wither. But when the conditions are right, when you have endured enough, learned enough, and opened enough, that truth rises naturally into awareness. It is not a sudden gift from the outside. It is the unveiling of what has always lived within you. This is why certain lessons only become clear after suffering, why certain insights only appear after loss, why certain realizations strike you only when your defenses have crumbled. The unconscious does not rush. It waits until you have shed what is unnecessary, until your pride, fear, or resistance no longer block the way. Then it reveals what was hidden, and the revelation feels both surprising and familiar, as if you are remembering something you always knew but had forgotten. You may have noticed this in your own life. A problem lingers unsolved no matter how hard you try to reason it out, and then one day, without effort, the solution rises like a sudden dawn. Or perhaps you struggle with a question for years, only to encounter a message, a person, or a moment that seems to awaken an answer inside of you. It is not that the answer arrived from elsewhere. It is that your unconscious finally released it when you were ready to receive. This inner guidance is not random. It is the deeper intelligence of your being, ensuring that your growth unfolds at the pace you can bear. It does not overwhelm you with all truths at once. It reveals them gradually, step by step, so that you can absorb them without breaking. Every challenge you face, every delay, every silence is part of this process. You may think you are standing still, but beneath the surface, your unconscious is weaving, shaping, and preparing. And when the call of the unconscious reaches you, it is unmistakable. It comes as a knowing that does not need proof, a certainty that cannot be argued away. You may not know why, but you know. You may not see the full picture, but you sense the direction. It is as if an inner voice whispers from a place beyond words, guiding you toward what your soul has been waiting for. This is not the noise of passing thoughts. It is the quiet authority of the deeper self. The world outside will mirror this inner readiness. The messages you encounter, the people who cross your path, the opportunities that arise, they are drawn to you because your unconscious has called them. Life and the inner self are not separate. They are reflections of each other. What emerges within will manifest without. This is why the truth you need only appears when you are capable of holding it, why the message finds you only when you are prepared to listen. So trust the silence within you. Trust the moments when you do not yet know, for not knowing is often the preparation for deeper knowing. Your unconscious is not idle, it is always at work, shaping your journey in ways your conscious mind cannot yet understand. And when the time is right, when you have grown enough to bear it, the truth will rise from the depths of your being, clear and undeniable. It will not feel foreign, but like the echo of something that has always belonged to you. And when it comes, you will recognize that it was never absent, it was waiting for you all along. There is a tendency in us all to cling, to hold on tightly to what we believe should happen, to force outcomes as if life itself were a machine responding to our commands. We grip so hard to our expectations that we leave no space for what is truly meant to unfold. And yet, the paradox is that guidance does not come when we are rigid and desperate. It comes when we loosen our hold, when we release the illusion of control and allow life to breathe through us. Letting go is not weakness, it is the doorway through which clarity enters. When you cling, you are consumed by fear. Fear of losing, fear of missing, fear of being left behind. This fear clouds your vision, making you blind to the very opportunities and messages that are already surrounding you. Imagine trying to catch water by clutching it in your fist. The tighter you squeeze, the faster it slips away. But if you open your hand, the water rests gently in your palm. Life works the same way. It flows where there is openness, where there is trust, where there is space to enter. Think of the times you forced a situation, trying to bend it to your will. Perhaps you chased after something that you thought was essential to your happiness, only to find emptiness when you attained it. Or perhaps you resisted the ending of a chapter, gripping so tightly that you suffered longer than necessary. Yet, the moment you finally released your hold, you discovered that life was already waiting to fill that space with something greater, something more aligned with who you were becoming. This is the quiet power of letting go. It creates room for guidance to appear, for truth to rise, for the right path to reveal itself without obstruction. It is easy to misunderstand surrender. Many think it means resignation, passivity, or giving up. But surrender is none of these. Surrender is the act of acknowledging that you cannot see the whole picture, that there is a wisdom far greater than your own small perspective. It is trust in the unseen order of life, trust that what is meant for you cannot pass you by, and what is not meant for you cannot be forced into permanence. This trust does not weaken you. It strengthens you, because it aligns you with reality instead of fighting against it. In those moments when you release your need to control, notice how light you feel. A weight lifts from your chest, and suddenly the world appears clearer. What once seemed tangled and confusing begins to untangle on its own. You start to see signs, opportunities, and directions that were hidden from you before. The guidance was always there, but your clenched grip blinded you to it. It is as if life waits patiently until you step aside, until you clear the way with your surrender, and then it moves swiftly to bring you exactly what is needed. This does not mean that pain will vanish or that challenges will disappear. It means that you will stop multiplying your suffering by resisting what already is. The storm may still come, but instead of exhausting yourself trying to command the winds, you learn to move with them. You discover that even in chaos there is a rhythm. Even in endings, there is the seed of beginnings. And because you are no longer fighting against what you cannot change, you begin to receive the quiet guidance that leads you toward transformation. Letting go is also an act of faith in your own inner strength. It is saying to yourself, even if this chapter closes, I will not be destroyed. Even if this door shuts, I will find the one that opens. That faith creates resilience, and resilience creates openness. And in openness, life speaks more clearly. You notice the people who arrive at the right time, the words that pierce your heart with truth, the opportunities that once seemed invisible. Everything in nature teaches this wisdom. The tree does not resist the shedding of its leaves. It trusts the cycle, knowing that letting go prepares the way for new life. The river does not cling to its banks. It flows freely, and in its flowing it discovers its course. You too are part of this same rhythm. When you hold on too tightly, you step out of harmony. When you let go, you return to the flow that has been guiding you all along. And so the moment you release the need to control, you begin to see. Guidance reveals itself not through force, but through space. Clarity comes not through clinging, but through surrender. And what is meant for you, what has been waiting all along, finally finds its way into your life. Everything you see in the world outside is, in some way, a reflection of what is happening within you. Life presents itself as a mirror, showing you where you are on your journey, not with judgment, but with truth. The situations you encounter, the people you meet, even the challenges you face, all echo the state of your inner being. This is why the same event can appear completely different to two people, because each perceives it through the lens of their own readiness. What you notice, what draws your attention, is not random. It reveals what your soul is prepared to confront, to embrace, or to transform. Think of the times when a message crossed your path but meant nothing to you. You saw it, but it passed by without resonance. Then, months or years later, the same message appeared again, and suddenly it struck you with undeniable force. What changed was not the message. It was you. Your inner state had shifted, and the world responded accordingly. Life did not withhold the truth. It mirrored your readiness to receive it. What we perceive as new often isn't new at all. It is only that our eyes have finally opened to it. This is why every encounter has meaning, even the ones you may wish to dismiss. The friend who irritates you, the stranger who inspires you, the obstacle that frustrates you. All of them are mirrors reflecting parts of yourself. Sometimes the mirror shows you your strength, sometimes your longing, and other times your shadow. What you resist in another is often what you deny in yourself. What you admire in another is often what is waiting to awaken within you. The world speaks to you constantly through reflection, guiding you toward greater awareness of who you are and who you are becoming. When you begin to recognize this, you see that life is not against you. It is for you. Every situation carries the hidden message. Look within. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you begin to ask, "What in me is being revealed through this?" That shift transforms how you walk through the world. No longer a victim of circumstance, you become a participant in your own unfolding, using every mirror as a teacher. There is a deep honesty required here, because the mirror does not flatter. It does not show you only what you want to see. It reveals what is necessary for your growth. This is why some lessons are uncomfortable, why some reflections sting. But even in the discomfort, there is a gift. Life is not punishing you, it is showing you the exact place where healing is needed, the exact place where your soul is ready to grow. If you avoid the mirror, the lesson returns again and again, repeating itself until you finally turn inward and acknowledge what it is pointing toward. You may notice this in the patterns of your life. The same type of relationship, the same type of challenge, the same type of disappointment appears repeatedly. At first, it may seem as though the world is unfair, as though fate is against you. But if you pause and reflect, you begin to see that these patterns are not happening to you at random. They are happening for you because something within you is ready to awaken. Each repetition is life holding up the mirror again, inviting you to see yourself more clearly. The beauty of this process is that as your inner world transforms, the reflection changes. What once appeared as an obstacle now appears as guidance. What once provoked anger now invites compassion. What once felt meaningless now feels purposeful. The world outside shifts because you have shifted inside. This is why no one else can walk your journey for you. No one else sees the world exactly as you do, because no one else carries the same mirror within. And so, when a message appears, when a person enters your life, when a situation demands your attention, pause and ask yourself, what is being reflected to me right now? What is this revealing about where I am and what I am ready to face? That question alone opens a door, because it moves you from resistance into awareness. You stop asking life to change for you, and you begin to change yourself, knowing that the world will mirror that transformation back to you. In this way, nothing is wasted, not a single encounter, not a single struggle, not a single moment of pain. Each one serves as a reflection, a guide, a signal of where your soul stands. And the more you understand this, the more you see that the world has been speaking to you all along, showing you exactly what you are ready to see. So much of our suffering comes from the refusal to accept where we are. We fight against the present moment as though it were an enemy, convinced that only when things change, only when conditions are different, can we finally be at peace. Yet the truth is that transformation never begins in some imagined future. It begins the very moment we embrace what is here and now. Acceptance is not about resignation, nor is it about liking everything that has happened to us. It is about acknowledging reality without resistance, opening ourselves to the lessons that are woven into our current place on the journey. When you resist, you create tension. You argue with what already exists, demanding that it be otherwise, and in doing so you exhaust yourself. Life does not bend to resistance. It waits patiently, repeating the same lessons until the moment you surrender enough to see them clearly. The struggles you deny, the pain you bury, the truth you avoid, all of these remain with you until you have the courage to face them. Only through acceptance can you begin to transform them. As long as you push them away, they remain locked inside, shaping your life from the shadows. Acceptance is an act of courage. It requires looking at your life exactly as it is without excuses or illusions. It requires admitting your wounds, your mistakes, your disappointments, and your fears. This honesty can sting, but it is liberating because once you see reality clearly, you are no longer enslaved by denial. You may not have chosen every experience, but you do have the choice of how you will respond. Acceptance opens that doorway. It says, "This is where I stand, and from here I will begin to grow." The paradox is that what you accept no longer controls you. When you stop fighting against pain, you begin to understand it. When you stop resenting the past, you begin to release it. When you stop resisting endings, you begin to glimpse the beginnings hidden inside them. Acceptance transforms suffering into teacher, loss into wisdom, and confusion into clarity. The energy that was once spent in resistance becomes fuel for growth. Consider the times in your life when you finally accepted something you had long resisted. Perhaps it was the ending of a relationship, the failure of a plan, or the reality of a limitation. At first, the acceptance felt like defeat, but slowly a shift occurred. The very moment you embraced what was, you created space for something new to enter. You discovered a strength you did not know you had, or an opportunity that had been hidden by your refusal to see. Acceptance did not weaken you. It revealed resilience that had been waiting inside you all along. This is why acceptance is the beginning of transformation. You cannot change what you refuse to see. You cannot heal what you will not touch. To accept does not mean to settle forever in your current state. It means to acknowledge the truth so that change can finally happen. Like a traveler lost in the wilderness, you cannot begin your journey until you admit where you stand. Denying your location only deepens the confusion. Acceptance, however painful, is the map's starting point, and from there, the path forward begins to unfold. There is freedom in this way of living. You no longer waste energy resenting life for not being different. You no longer postpone your peace for a future that may never arrive. Instead, you live fully in the present, allowing each moment to shape you. And in that presence, you begin to see that even the most difficult experiences contain seeds of wisdom. Nothing is wasted when you accept it. Everything can be transformed. To accept does not mean you will never desire change. It means you will not resist the truth of where you are while waiting for it. In fact, acceptance is the very ground on which meaningful change grows. Without it, you are trapped in illusion, wishing for a different life instead of engaging with the one that is actually yours. With it, You step into alignment with reality, and reality responds by opening doors that resistance had kept shut. So when you find yourself struggling against the present moment, remember this: the place you are resisting may hold the very key you have been searching for. The transformation you long for begins, not in running away from what is, but in embracing it with honesty and courage. And when you finally do, life reveals that it was never your enemy. It was always your guide. There is a certain kind of vision that does not come from the eyes, but from the openness of the heart. Many people move through life blind, not because they lack sight, but because they are closed. They are guarded, skeptical, fearful, convinced that the world is against them. In such a state, even when life offers its guidance, they cannot see it. The message passes before them unnoticed. The opportunity stands waiting yet remains invisible. But for those who carry openness, for those who live with trust and curiosity, the world reveals its secrets. What others overlook, they notice. What others dismiss as meaningless, they recognize as meaningful. It is not that the world treats them differently. It is that their heart allows them to receive what is already there. The universe rewards this openness, not with grand displays, but with subtle confirmations. A chance encounter, a fleeting thought, a word spoken at just the right moment. All of these are gifts, but only to the one who is willing to see them as such. To a closed heart, these are coincidences, irrelevant and unimportant. To an open heart, they are threads of connection, signs of alignment, whispers of guidance. And because the open heart welcomes them, more arrive. It is as though life itself says, "Here is one who listens, here is one who trusts." And so the flow of synchronicities becomes stronger, the guidance more visible. Living with openness does not mean being naive or unguarded against harm. It means refusing to let fear build walls around you so high that no light can enter. It means trusting that even in uncertainty, life is carrying you somewhere meaningful. It means having the humility to admit that you do not know everything, and that wisdom often comes in forms you did not expect. This humility allows you to remain receptive, to notice what others ignore. Think of the times when you were so caught in doubt or despair that you shut yourself off from the world. In those moments, the signs were still around you, but you could not see them. And then, perhaps in a moment of stillness, perhaps after a release of tears, your heart softened, and suddenly what was hidden became visible. You began to see connections, to notice the beauty, to recognize that guidance had been there all along. Nothing outside had changed. The change was within you. Your openness allowed life to speak again. This is why openness of heart is not just a virtue, it is a necessity. Without it, the path remains hidden. With it, the path reveals itself step by step. The world does not need to shout when you are listening closely. The message does not need to be forced upon you when you are ready to receive it. What is for you arrives quietly, naturally, like a stream flowing toward its destination. The only requirement is that you remain open enough to see it. Openness also transforms how you relate to others. When you meet people with suspicion, you see only fragments of them, distorted by your own defenses. But when you approach with openness, even guardedly, you allow them to reveal the parts of themselves that would otherwise stay hidden. This does not mean every person is meant to stay in your life, but every encounter has something to teach you. With openness, you stop asking, "What do I get from this?" and begin asking, "What is life showing me through this?" That shift deepens your connection to the world and to yourself. And when your heart remains open, even in times of struggle, you begin to recognize that guidance does not disappear in difficulty. It becomes even more profound. The very moments that seem dark and unbearable are often the ones filled with the clearest signs, if only you can soften enough to notice them. Openness does not take away pain, but it gives meaning to it, and meaning allows you to walk through it with strength. So much of life's wisdom is already before you, scattered in your path like seeds. But seeds only grow in open soil. A closed heart is like hardened ground, where nothing can take root. An open heart is fertile, ready to receive, ready to nurture what arrives. And in that openness, what is meant for you finds its way without struggle, without force, without delay. The message that appears to you is not random. It comes because your heart has reached the place where it can finally see, finally hear, finally hold it. And that is why only those who live with openness will ever truly recognize the guidance life has been offering them all along.